Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you my answers for the questions in the Shadowhunter book tag, and there are totally 19 questions in this tag. So I'll try to keep all my answers as short as I can so that this video doesn't go for so long. And I've linked the blog post from which I found this tag in the description. Please do go and check that out if you're interested. All my answers will be completely spoiler free, so if you've not read any of the Shadowhunters books or if you are in the middle of some series, you need not worry at all because I'll not be spoiling anything. I'll try to be as vague as I can and try to make the most sense. So without any further ado, let's get into the questions right away. Question number 1, who's your favorite character? If you've been following me, I'm so sure that you know this answer without me even starting to answer, and it is definitely Magnus Bane, okay? When it comes to the Shadowhunter Chronicles itself, none of the Shadowhunters is my most favorite character, but this Warlock definitely is. He's the only character who occurs in all the 19 books that have been published until now, and he does not feel boring at all in any of the books. Some stories involving him are a little bit boring, especially when it comes to the Bane Chronicles, but as a whole, he's definitely my most favorite character, and if I can have one of all these characters from the 19 books in my life just to exist really, it'll definitely be Magnus Bane. Question number 2, who's your OTP? OTP stands for one true pair. There are definitely multiple pairs whom I love inside the Shadowhunter Chronicles, but if I have to choose just one of all of these, I'd go for Simon and Isabel because they are the most underrated couple ever, and they're also very underrated characters individually as well. They go through like hell shit, okay, yet they don't give up on the grit that they have, especially Simon, okay. Simon is a person who's physically so weak, but the mental strength that he has and the grit that he has to put up a brave face after everything that he's gone through, and after all that have the same soft heart that he has, is definitely something which I admire a lot. And when it comes to Isabel, she's just like a 100 emoji, okay? So definitely they are my most favorite pair. Question number 3, what is your favorite quote from any of the books? My favorite quote is actually the tagline of the entire series as a whole, and it is all the stories are true, okay? I just got a little bit pissed off when they changed it in the TV show to all the legends are true, okay? Because legends sounds a bit more fancier compared to stories, but we all live through the stories that we hear, and the stories are the things which actually inspire most of us to do what we are doing in our lives itself. This series as a whole itself has influenced a lot of really good things in me, positive things in me, so definitely that's my most favorite quote of all the books, and it occurs in the very first book, that is City of Bones itself. Question number 4, who's the sexiest Shadowhunter in the series? For this, I cannot choose a single answer because all of the Shadowhunters are hot in some way or the other. But I can definitely choose a family because all the Shadowhunters are hot, but the Herondales are hotter compared to all the other Shadowhunters. You can just see it from Will to all his successors in the succeeding series as well, because all of them are more attractive compared to any of the other Shadowhunters. So definitely the Herondales are the sexiest Shadowhunters if you ask me. Question number 5, if you had any Shadowhunter last name, what would it be? For this, I'm choosing a very peculiar answer because I like this family name first of all, and I also like all the members in this family, and it is the Carstairs, okay? And I can definitely say that I like Jem and Cordelia so much because they are perfect in every sense. They are kind, they are brave, you can trust them with literally anything, and they'll always try to be the most understanding compared to any of the other characters. So definitely the Carstairs is my most favorite family, and if I have a Shadowhunter last name, it will definitely be Carstairs. It will sound stupid, I know, but Carstairs is my choice, and it is definitely a really juicy name to say even. Next question, who's your favorite actor in the TV show? If you didn't know, I'm definitely a huge fan of the Shadowhunters TV show. It's definitely not so good as the books, but on its own the show is really good and I just enjoyed it the whole time. I actually watched it twice in 2020 itself, and my most favorite of all the actors in that one is Harry Shum Jr., who played Magnus Bane again. I can say that his get-up in the first season was definitely not good, but in the second and third seasons they just amped him up and made him look like the perfect Magnus. But starting from season 1 to the last episode itself, his action as Magnus was just so perfect, okay? Even in the movie, Magnus was not that great in the City of Bones movie, but in the series, Magnus was just 100% authentic and perfect if you ask me. Magnus has this very fluid kind of movement in all the books also, and it was perfectly conveyed by him. While he's doing the magic, while he's talking, while he's doing stunts as well, everything just portrayed Magnus in the perfect way, so he's definitely my most favorite actor from the series. Next we have who's your favorite actress in the TV show, and for this I definitely have to go with the actress who played Isabel Lightwood, and she's Emerald Tubia if I'm not pronouncing her last name wrong. And I can definitely say she is the perfect casted character of all when it comes to the show because her appearance itself just matches Isabel perfectly, and the way she portrayed Isabel was like 100%, okay? In the first shot of the show, we get to see Alec, Izzy, and then Jace. While I saw them for the first time, Jace and Alec did not seem quite original to me, but Izzy was just so perfect because this actress's face was the exact face that I had for Isabel in my mind while I was reading the books. And just while seeing that itself, I was sure that okay, they are going to do Isabel properly in the show, if not for the other characters. Her plotline is not that great as in the books, but the way in which she was played by the actress in the TV show was just so good, especially the fight scenes. Okay, it was like perfect. Okay, Izzy will fight like that fiercely with grace. It was just so perfect. So she's my most favorite actress in the TV show. Next we have, would you rather listen to Jace playing the piano, Jim playing the violin, or play video games with Simon? I wanted to play video games with Simon, but I'm definitely not a gamer and I'm not interested in playing video games as well. If it had been board games, I would have been totally into it. So I'm going to choose to listening to Jem playing the violin because I'm sure the way in which Jem playing the violin is described in the books is so very beautiful. Okay, in each and every book where we see Jem playing the violin, it is definitely a very beautiful feeling that is delivered by Cassie's writing, and I'm sure that it will be wonderful to experience in real life as well. So I definitely choose to listen Jem playing the violin. Next, if you have one rune tattooed to your body, what would it be? Fun fact, I wanted to get a tattoo last year itself while I was like in my peak of reading the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I wanted to get an Irazi tattoo as my first tattoo. I'm interested in wearing tattoos, but I'm a bit afraid because my skin is super sensitive and I want to start and try with something very minute. So definitely if I want to have a rune tattoo, it'll be the Irazi, which is the healing rune, because I think healing is a process which we are always in the process of doing, and I cannot say that anyone is completely healed because every time we are hurt by something or the other, and the process of healing has to go on until we survive in order to keep ourselves hopeful and happy. So Irazi will be the rune which I'll have as a tattoo, and I'll just try to drop the image here. Next, what downworlder would you most likely be? I'd definitely be a warlock, okay, because warlocks are the coolest downworlders to ever exist. They can literally do magic, okay, and that's just only one disadvantage they have, and it is they have to have their hands free in order to do magic. If their hands are like bound together, they cannot do magic. That's definitely one thing which has been clearly stated in the books as well. So I'll definitely like to be a warlock, and my warlock mark will be definitely wings, okay. I'll be a warlock with wings who can fly. So it'll be definitely cool, not just being a warlock but also being able to fly. Next we have TMI or TID. TMI means the mortal instruments and TID means the infernal devices. Objectively speaking, TID, that is the Infernal Devices, is a much better series because it has a proper plot which goes on and progresses properly across all the three books. The character revelations are really good. The relationships between the three main characters is just extremely good. It's not something which can be surpassed by any of the other relationships in any of the other series as well. But apart from all these things, my heart always goes for the Mortal Instruments because I just love all those 6 characters completely. I used to not like Jace and Clary in the beginning, but after having finished all the books in the series, I definitely do like Jace and Clary a lot more now compared to how I hated them in the beginning. So definitely the Mortal Instruments is my choice. Next, who's your most hated character from the books? I have 2 words, Zara Dearborn, okay? I want her to die very horribly, like the most horrible character death that I've ever seen in fiction. I want that to happen. And if you've not read the books, please do read them. I'm sure that you will feel in the same way. She's just a very horrible person who does not deserve to live at all. So I just hope that very bad things happen to her, and yeah, I don't want to convey a lot more negative emotions, so I'm just stopping here. Next, if you could spend one day with any character, who would it be? I thought of a lot of many different characters for this question, but I could only think of one answer who would make the most sense, and it is definitely Simon Lewis, okay? He's the character whom I can relate with the most. I can relate with almost all the characters, main characters in the Mortal Instruments, but the one who is deeply rooted in my heart and mind is definitely Simon, because I can see a lot of my own reflections in his character. So I think it'll be easy to bond with Simon and spend a whole day and get to know him a lot more. He's also one of the kindest and most strong characters in the entire series, so I'd just like to spend a day with Simon rather than any of the other characters. Next, what is your favorite book of all the Shadowhunters books? And for this, I should definitely go with Lord of Shadows, which is the second book in the Dark Artifices. If you've read the entire Dark Artifices, you know why I've selected this book, because this is just a wild, crazy, freaking ride compared to anything else. And definitely this was the only book in which I was not at all able to predict what was going to happen at all. The character relations that we get in this one, the plot relations that we get, the way in which the world expands and explodes is definitely wonderful. And especially the climax of this one is definitely one of the best Shadowhunter as well as Cassandra Clare moments that I've experienced so far. Before reading this one, Clockwork Princess was my most favorite, but after finishing this is definitely my most favorite Shadowhunter book. Next question, which book had the worst cliffhanger? For this also I should definitely go with Lord of Shadows. For anyone who's reading Lord of Shadows or who's going to read Lord of Shadows, there is only one advice I'd give. Please do have Queen of Air and Darkness with you while you're reading this one, because the ending of this one is such a huge cliffhanger that if you finish it, you will definitely want to read Queen of Air and Darkness very next itself, because it is that great and that intriguing compared to anything else. And after this, I can say City of Lost Souls. Okay, I even remember the last line of City of Lost Souls very well, and it is, "Now we are one." Okay, the character who says that is like a psychopath, and the things that happen afterwards in the Mortal Instruments is also so extremely good. So definitely this is my most favorite cliffhanger, and that's my second most favorite. Next, what is your favorite scene from any of the books? I have actually two favorite scenes which I can never forget in my entire life. The first one is a scene towards the climax of City of Glass, in which one character goes and cuts off the hand of another character. I'll not say who the characters are, but that scene is definitely something which is very epic, and it just took that character who cuts off the hand to such a great extent in my mind, and I just have them with such huge respect in my mind for that itself. And the second one is probably the best Shadowhunter moment ever, and it is the epilogue of Clockwork Princess. I'm sure anyone who has read Clockwork Princess will not end up not liking the epilogue, because it is just the perfect thing to ever have been written, and it will definitely stay in my heart for the rest of my life. Next question, James Carstairs or William Herndale? It's definitely Jem Carstairs always, okay? I know that many people like Will, but I'm definitely not at all a Will fan. I liked Will when I read Clockwork Angel, and there's this some revelation that happens in Clockwork Prince. It is sad, but I don't think it develops him as a character in any way at all. I think that sadness is something which just makes many people like him out of pity rather than anything else. Personally, I think so. I'm not saying it in a bad way at all, but that's definitely not a preference that I have when it comes to liking any character. And also, he's a sarcastic asshole, so I definitely don't like him for that itself. I like many instances that involve Will, but if you ask me whether Will or Jem, I'll always go for Jem. Next, if you could meet Cassie and say one thing to her, what would it be? The first thing which I know for sure that I will burst into tears. That will definitely happen. When it comes to saying something to her, I'll definitely say a huge thank you for this exotic, beautiful world that she has created for us to explore within. And also, this series has had a lot of influence on me as a person as well as a reader in specific, and I can say that I have learned a lot of things from these, and I've learned to see myself with both the good and bad qualities that are within me, and trying to balance both of them, and how the stories that we create in our lives actually make us be remembered for the rest of our lives as well. So I definitely say a huge thank you for having written such a huge epic tale. The last and final question, if you could play one character in the TV show, who would it be? I'd prefer to do nothing like that ever at all, but if I have to answer this question, I can say I'll play Raphael. Okay, Raphael is definitely one of the most peculiar characters when it comes to the series as a whole itself. I'd like to play Raphael as he is in the books in the TV show. His character's not changed, but his storyline is a bit changed in the show, but even then his characterization was not at all changed. The way in which he behaves to people, how he is always grumpy and rude to people, that was not at all ripped away from his character. So I do like Raphael for that itself, and I think it would suit me because personally I don't like talking to people just like Raphael does, and his grit is also something which I admire a lot. So definitely Raphael. So yes guys, those were all my answers, and don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below because I'd like to know them. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel because I publish new videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.